If you're moving to Louisville, Kentucky, there are some things that you really need to know before you get here. Some of them to help you out just in general. Some of them just to make sure you just don't stick out like a sore thumb, say some things the wrong way.
That's right. There's
other stuff.
A lot of unique stuff here.
Yeah, you know. So, hey, we got a list. We got 19 things. These are things you really need to know before you get here. And that's what we'll be talking about in this video. We're about to get after it right now.
Hey guys, I'm Neal Cox. I'm with Judah Real Estate Group right here in Louisville.
Yep, and I'm Jared Laster. We're here with the Living in Louisville channel where we're making videos like this to give you information about the area. We're also taking you out and showing you around all the different parts of the city, the neighborhoods, the suburbs. We're covering it all on this channel. If that's what you want to see, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell. That way you'll get notified when our new videos coming out. They're coming out just about every week. You don't want to miss it. Now, also, if you are doing all that, you probably are the person who really is seriously thinking about moving here, or you know you are, and if that's the case, you got to take it one step further.
Reach out, give us a call, give us a text, give us an email, or
sound the bugle, because you know we're gonna get off the races helping you make that move here to Louisville. Now in this video, like I said, we're talking about the the 19 things
the need to know
that you need to know. These aren't necessarily all of them something that you would think of like major.
Yeah, but if you want to come in and be comfortable, be armed with some knowledge about the 502 when you get here.
That's right. So this one is a big one right off the bat. It's, are you moving to Louisville? Are you moving to Louisville?
You're moving to Louisville.
Louisville.
So
we'll put this up on the screen. How you want to pronounce this?
Absolutely. Although it was named after King Louis, we locals call it Louisville. You know, it's just kind of the local lazy way of pronouncing it. And people will call you out if you're out somewhere else and you're saying, oh, I'm from Louisville. They'll say, no, you are not.
Yeah, so, I guess probably like people visiting the city, you come in here, you think you're probably saying it right with Louisville. Yeah, Louisville is obviously just wrong, and then Louisville though. If you're Louisville, you'll be people won't at least immediately suspect that you're not from here.
That's right. You won't get called out on the spot.
Right. Next up, number 2. This one is just kind of an interesting thing. I thought coming here, Neal's been here basically his whole life. I'm pretty new here, and this to me was just really strange.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anywhere else like this where the city has actually merged with the county. So you'll notice this when you get here. It's Jefferson County kind of / City of Louisville together, and then cities within that.
Yeah, before that merger, there were a lot of duplicate services, and people kind of wised up and said, it would make a lot of sense if we streamline this so the city and the county, through a vote, merged into one entity, but left behind some intact little cities themselves within the overall big city.
Yeah, so the thing really to remember here and to know is people, once you live here, you really don't think about this too much. You're in these different areas. You may call it by the name of the area, but I guess you're not really concerned with, is this a city? Is this an area, a neighborhood? The main place that's going to come into play is really how you're paying taxes to those different entities. But other than that, it's not really a big deal.
No.
But it's something that will definitely throw you off a little bit once you start to look into it when you get here. Another thing that might throw you off on even any given day is this weather. It can just be kind of unpredictable.
You have to check the forecast every morning before you get dressed, or else you're going to be underdressed or overdressed because it varies so much.
Well, today is winter, Who knows what we've got tomorrow?
Yeah, who knows?
But, it kind of goes up and down. The weather, though, just to give you a little broader picture, we did that in another video. But it's not, it's not as crazy cold, crazy snow like you get farther up north. Still gets hot and humid in the summer. Maybe not quite so bad as it does down in Alabama and Florida.
Yeah.
But I think it's a pretty good mix of it, good best of both worlds almost situation, especially if you like to see a little snow and you just don't want to deal with shoveling it all the time.
Yeah,
So
we
you
get
can
some
do that.
snow, not a ton though.
Yeah, so that's the weather situation. Next up on the list here, number 4 on our list is the politics of the area. This is something that maybe not quite what you think, but it is a little different.
It is. The state of Kentucky itself is really a red state, but Louisville's really kind of a blue dot in the sea of that. And I actually think there's some advantage to that. You have that play between the two, so you don't get these wild swings on the extremes of each side, which is actually, to me, it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, I don't think, here in Louisville, particularly, I don't think anybody's coming after you for any particular belief. I think the people are friendly, pretty accepting. So,
yeah, it's a welcoming place, and it's hard to not be accepted when you come to Louisville.
Yeah. Next up is going to be the public transportation situation. What's going on?
There's places with better. There really are. We don't have any rail or anything like that. We do have a bus system, but to get to some major places, you're going to have to ride multiple buses and navigate that whole thing. And it's not always easy to figure out the schedule and everything. It could use some improvement. It's not a huge city to try to navigate to get around, but if you don't have a car, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah, which leads right into the next thing on the list is you probably are going to need a car because, there are some things lacking with that public transportation. It's also, while there are some very walkable areas, in general, it's not a super walkable city. There's kind of things spread out that you're going to have to get to.
Yeah, to get from area to area, it's difficult to navigate on foot. There is one cool thing, though. There are some parks near the outer edges of the county city that have been connected with a loop that you can stay on that path and go around the entire city on foot.
Yeah, so you can walk around. Now, what does everybody drive here? Like big trucks, everybody, or what?
Maybe a little bit. I have a big truck, but that's mostly to pull our travel trailer. All kinds of stuff you'll find around here. People like sedans, SUVs are huge, and some trucks. There's no car that you have to be able to fit in here, though. There are places that is a true thing.
Yeah, I think you get out to kind of the more smaller towns, rural areas, if you're not driving a truck, what are you driving?
Yeah. Well,
but here it's not so much.
If you live in Detroit and you're driving a Toyota, you're gonna hear about it.
Yeah, there are some Ford plants here, though.
There sure are.
Maybe keep that in mind. All right, we've kind of mentioned this as well in some of the other points, but I think it's a good here for its own point to reiterate. People here are, really nice, friendly, helpful.
You'll strike up a conversation with a stranger. That happens all the time. I've been to places where that just doesn't happen, but you can be talking to somebody that you don't know at all. You can quickly come up with something that you both know something about, and then you're off to a whole conversation. People are very courteous and nice.
This was, I think, yesterday or the day before. I was at a gas station. There was a kid in there. He's probably 5.5 feet tall or so. And they've got the markers on. You walk out of the gas station like your height. He's like, I'm 6 feet. This thing is wrong. This kid was not. He's 5'6", 5'5", maybe. And then me and the guy that were standing next to me, we just started talking and laughing about how, ain't no way this kid is 6 feet tall. So, and it's just, I didn't know the guy, and we just went about our way. But it was, for a little bit there, it was like we didn't know each other. So, crazy little thing, minor, but that's just to give you an example, that kind of stuff happens. Here's another thing, this maybe comes from the fact that we've got a lot of great schools here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say we're pretty smart. What do you think?
I think so. There's good school systems, there's good higher ed, there's all kinds of stuff, and I think also the city itself usually grows smartly. They consult people a lot, and we make smart investments into the city. But we're a smart city. We know a lot about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the way that, like you said, how the city's growing, I think some of the things, it is growing and having to deal with that. So they are making improvements. And I think, it just kind of shows that it is a smart city. So you can come be a part of that. Next up on the list, this one, we're kind of the gateway to the south, and you've kind of got the Bible Belt there, and you've got some others in Kentucky. What is the religion? Is it here? What are people to see? Are you pushed into something?
No, the city, I don't think we're overly a religious area like some places in the South,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some large communities. There are large Baptist communities and congregations. There's very large Catholic schools and churches and congregations. The Catholic school system is pretty big here. One church, which is Southeast Christian Church in the southeast of the Jefferson County, is one of the largest churches in the country. Big mega church.
Yeah. So it's kind of do what you like.
Do what you like, and that's really the theme for a lot of things in Louisville. People will welcome you no matter what you're into.
Yeah. So kind of a full 180 off of that. We are known for bourbon here in Kentucky, but what about the alcohol situation? What's going on?
Well, nearly all bourbon in the world is produced in Kentucky. It is a corn mash liquor that is aged in charred oak barrels, and that's where it gets its color from. The popularity of it has exploded, so don't go anywhere asking for whiskey or you're going to be kicked out immediately. It's bourbon. There are specific things that make something bourbon rather than whiskey.
I want to throw this in here too, that even though we're known for bourbon, you've got some breweries around.
Mm-hmm. There's microbrews. There's Fall City, I believe, is a more of like a hipster in a can kind of fun beer that they have. But the city they'll have a drink.
Yeah. So if you maybe don't want to go quite straight to the bourbon, if you want to have like a craft beer, microbrew, stuff like that, you can get that too. If I'm being honest, that's what I really like.
Mm-hmm.
It's more universal. I don't always go straight to the bourbon, but on occasion, it's good. But there's other things to do here than drink beer and bourbon. You can there's lots of stuff to do. Actually, I would say almost endless things to do here.
There really are. We've got all kinds of amenities in Louisville. If you like college sports, because that's what we are diehards for here, there are all kinds of things to go check out all the time. Sometimes they're free or cheap, at least. The University of Louisville soccer team is free or super cheap. You can sit right in the grass with a great view of the stadium, really close, and it's great. It's my favorite thing to do. But we have world-class music. Tours come here. We've got comedy club. We've got outdoor activities. There is no shortage of things to do.
Yeah, tons of stuff. I mean, events, and then you've also, like you mentioned earlier, the parks. You can do anything you want to do, just about. You can do it here. That's part of the benefit of being, if we said this in this video, but in others, it's a big city with a small town vibe, so you get those benefits, but of the small town, but you have all the stuff to do of the big city.
Absolutely.
So getting into kind of in the same vein of things to do, some things that people like to do is shopping. You've got a lot of shopping options around here.
We really do. There are a couple main hubs of that. Like there's 2 shopping malls that sit right next to each other. They have different offerings. Makes for a really concentrated shopping area. But you can stroll down Bardstown Road and duck into local shops to find all kinds of stuff too. You've got areas that have really concentrated local shops. You've got chain stuff. And then we've got outlet malls that are now just about 20 minutes outside of town, and that's only been within the past decade or so that's been here.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's pretty much everything across the board. I would say I really like all the local shops here, and there's tons of those, like you said, and you can find all kinds of unique stuff that you wouldn't see other places. You got them, kind of unique stuff just for here. So that's pretty cool. Definitely something to check out if you like to shop when you're in town. But everybody likes to eat, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody likes to eat. I do. So maybe my perception is skewed. And man, do we have some good food here. We got some great food options.
Absolutely. There is a food scene here that sometimes gets recognized nationally, but a lot of times goes unnoticed. And there's world-class food here. There are nationally renowned chefs that run restaurants here. There's people that have been on the Food Network multiple times that are right here working in Louisville every day, making awesome stuff to eat. You've got all the big chains, of course, but the local flavor around here is really good. A little bit of a scavenger hunt item. Put in the comments if you know what a hot brown is.
Hot brown. So I got to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Well, no.
It's strictly a Louisville thing.
But I will say this. I think even though I haven't been here too long, I think I'm already gaining a few pounds. So I need to get out to those parks and maybe run around and walk around a little bit. But next up on the list here, you know, and this kind of, I mentioned getting out in the parks, right, and enjoying nature. You might have some allergies. If you've got allergies where you are now, you may want to be careful, right?
The allergies are kind of oppressive at times. We're in a river basin because we sit right there on the Ohio River. You've got a lot of humidity. So the molds, the trees, the pollens, all that stuff, it's concentrated pretty highly. If you Googled most allergy-ridden cities or something like that, will probably pop up. It's kind of a surprising thing. You get used to it. I had, when I was a kid, I had some pretty bad allergies. Not so much now. So,
yeah, so just something to be aware of. You know, I don't. It hadn't hit me too bad. I hadn't been here super long, so I don't know. And I don't have allergies too bad. So maybe if you do, it's just something to be aware of.
Yep.
But you know, we talked a lot about what you can do in Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville's also, I feel like, in a great location. If you just look at the region around it, if you want some day trips, some places to go, you got a lot of options.
Tons of them. We're right in a triangle between Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Nashville. And those are, you know, no more than 2 or 3 hours away. Cincinnati, you can be there in an hour and a half easy. Northern Kentucky, right across from Cincinnati, has a lot to offer too. There's a world-class aquarium in Newport, Kentucky. You can get to Mammoth Cave in a very short time. There are all kinds of short road trips available to go to the lakes, go boating out there, or the Red River Gorge near the Natural Bridge State Park. There's camping, there's hiking, there's climbing. The Red River Gorge actually has world-class climbers come out to check that out all the time.
Yep, so you want to get out of the city a little bit, check out another city, check out some nature. You got all those options, and just tons of them, a lot more than just that. So plenty of things to do, not just in, but also around Louisville. But you know, we mentioned this a little bit earlier with the, I don't know, one of the other points, but you know, we don't have a major pro sports team here.
Mm-hmm.
We do have college sports, but we don't have pro sports. So who are people fans of here?
Well, maybe pick this before you get here, because you're going to be asked, are you a U of L fan or a U of K fan? And people are asking if you root for the University of Kentucky or the University of Louisville. And it's a big deal. That is not a small question. We also have some, we've got a AAA baseball team. It's the team associated with the Cincinnati Reds. We've got a USL soccer team, which is just below the MLS. And that has huge support. They actually just built a new stadium right near downtown just a couple years ago. It's gorgeous and amazing. Some of our sports facilities are world class. The University of Louisville basketball team, both men and women, play in the Yum Center. If we had an NBA team, they could play there today. It's a fantastic stadium.
Yep, so a lot of areas are too, like we don't have a big NFL team here for football, but you've got, just like we said, we're right in the middle of Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Nashville.
Yep.
Is right down here. So say fans of all of those. Who would you say? Right now it seems like there's a lot of Cincinnati fans.
Yeah, the Bengals fans have come out of the woodwork. I'm a Colts fan. Has to do with us getting the local games from Indianapolis constantly in the early 2000s. There's a lot of Steelers fans for some reason too. I don't know why. That might be everywhere.
I don't know. It seems like it. My dad was a Steelers fan growing up, so
yeah.
And we grew up in East Texas, so
well,
you know, I guess they are. They're kind of everywhere. Anyway, here in Louisville, though, this is one of the cool things. There is a lot of unique history here, all the way back to how it came about, how it was founded, who founded it.
Yeah,
all that kind of
George
stuff.
Rogers Clark of Lewis and Clark, which you've probably heard of, founded the city. It was a place for people to get their boats around some rapids on the Ohio River. The whole city grew out of that. For that reason, this is the oldest city that is west of the Appalachians in our country. And it's got rich history with all kinds of ties to important figures in history, and just a lot of even architecture that you can investigate. There's a lot to check out and learn about the city.
Yeah, so 1778.
1778.
It's only 2 years after the Declaration of Independence, and
Yeah.
like the country is barely even going in 1778, and Louisville's here.
That's right.
Okay, so we talked about this earlier on another video, but there's some good and bad sides to this, and that's going to be the taxes. Depends on what you're talking about, I guess, if it's good or bad.
Yeah, well, Louisville is kind of like you have referred to, is a collection of smaller areas that make up a big town. And there's different government entities in different places. You may pay taxes to one place when your friend that lives a few miles away is paying your taxes to another place. So it's just good to at least be aware that that may not be settled until you know where you're going to live if you're moving here.
Right, yeah. And then I like to throw into it's still pretty affordable in general. Property taxes are pretty low. I'd say probably some of the lowest in the country. Sales tax, with the exception of some of the places that don't have a sales tax, which there's like, I think, 2 states. With the exception of that, it's going to be on the lower end, and there is a small flat state income tax too. So it's not too bad, and some of those things will vary. So just stuff to know about. And the last one here, we saved this one for last because to say this is a big deal would be an understatement.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Really?
And that's going to be the Derby. Kentucky Derby is here, obviously Churchill Downs, but it's not just that. It's
not
the whole thing.
Yeah, you have likely heard of the Kentucky Derby, and that's that horse race in Kentucky. Here, it is life. For 2 weeks before the race itself is the Kentucky Derby Festival. There are tons of things to do every single day for those 2 weeks. Steamboat race, hot air balloon race, marathons, mini marathons, you name it, it's going on. Just places to eat. The city almost shuts down for those 2 weeks. People still go to work, but like maybe they're going to work in their flip-flops.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then the Derby, there's so many different experiences. You can go to the infield and party. You can sit in some covered seats and be fancy. You can go see a celebrity up in Millionaire's Row. The whole thing is wrapped up into Louisville's culture 100%.
Yeah, and it's just a fun time. Everybody gets into it. It's just a good time to go out there and enjoy that. Maybe enjoy, we mentioned earlier, the some good Kentucky bourbon or those local craft breweries or whatever you want to do. Have fun, do all that.
Ladies, if you're coming to the Derby, do not come without a hat.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Absolutely.
We can get in there too. But y'all, look, the main point is we like to have a good time here. People are nice, we're friendly, lots of stuff to do. So just come here with that attitude. Come be a part of it. Enjoy life, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So yeah, just have a good time here in Louisville. We hope you'll come check it out. And if you do and you like it and you want to move here, well, that's what we're here for. That's why we're making these videos. That's why we're doing all this. And if you want to see more stuff like that, make sure you get down there, subscribe, click the bell, and you'll get notified when the videos come out. And just like he picked up his phone there, you got to reach out to us too if you are that person who really is thinking about moving here. You can pick up that phone. You got to. How can you do that?
Call us, text us, email us, or
sound the bugle, and we're gonna get off to the races, helping y'all make that move here to Louisville. So y'all, thank y'all again for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a like if you did, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.